Tonight on MyTeam, it's moist. Very moist. And can we master the changeable conditions to win once again? Greetings, saucy salamanders, and welcome back to the F123 MyTeam Career Mode. Round number 13 for the Belgian Grand Prix. And as you can see, we have one upgrade on our wagon, courtesy of the slimy Sontaran. We've got a rotor speed upgrade. So that's nice. And in the performance index, we stomp all over Williams. Get smacked! Sorry, there's a bit too much passion there. But we still haven't overthrown Haas. Look at them, they're just behind McLaren in the performance index. But I have a quiz question for you all. Take some time to answer this. How many wins do Haas have this season? That's right, 0. They're shit. It's qualifying time. It's Saturday in Spa-Francorchamps. Mick Schumacher's business still seemingly going well as he's sponsoring the Belgian outfit. Here's the sexy vixen. He looks like a Giga Chad now. He's looks maxed to unbelievable levels. And we're going to now drive max our way to hopefully another great grid slot in this qualifying session. Out of the bus stop chicane, a clean exit for the most part, and away we go. A lot to live up to once again. Pole position last time out of the Hungarian Grand Prix, and we're looking to double that feat here in Spa. A bit of wheel spin out of La Source, but now tobogganing down the hill. We're going to sledgehammer our way through Eau Rouge and up Radion just about now. Full throttle, 110% commitment onto the Kemmel Straight. But since this lap is about 102 years long, let's cut to the end of it. It's been a decent showing. I don't know if there are any purple sectors because Codemasters doesn't let me have nice things. But across the line we head now, DRS open, and it's 7th place, and we waste no time getting back in. But all you need to know is actually, despite everything, we're only 4 tenths off Verstappen. So it's not looking too bad so far. So our final flying lap in anger then, through La Source at the 100-meter board we break. We gain time at the apex, but the wheel spin on the exit is terrible. No, we lose all the time we've gained, but it's okay. Heading up towards Eau Rouge then. Tyre temps all looking good. Full throttle commitment, only just down. Right, before you whip out your pitchforks and your flaming torches and try and blow me up, let me explain. It was completely my fault. I bollocksed the job so badly. Fundamentally, what happened was on my second flying lap, hence why I lost all the time at the exit of La Source, I forgot to change my tyres. I forgot to change onto a newer compound. And oh my god, Jack Doohan, you're just as bad in the dry as you are in the wet. How are you this absolutely abysmal? I'll ignore Jack Doohan because Piastri is 19th. I have no idea how, considering where the McLaren is in the performance index. But he, too, has made a right fool of himself. But for us, I mean, we underachieved. If we had new tyres, I reckon we could have been probably at least P5. But the cookie hasn't crumbled that way. And unfortunately, the cookie I had was mouldy and it was off and it was sad. So we're only just ahead of Ocon. But anyway, we're gonna offset the sadness a tiny bit. We're going to purchase a little upgrade. I looked around hard, thought meticulously for about 30 seconds. And once the dust had settled, I decided once again the chassis was the way to go. So, bolstering our upgrades once again. We're fighting our way to the front. But let's go to the sprint.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. An immense lap from KarlsCars yesterday puts him in pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Norris, Hamilton, Perez, Grim Reaper, Ocon, Bottas, Stroll, Joe, Fernando Alonso, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Albon, Oscar Piastri, Sargent, De Vries, and Jack Doohan. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
It's raining cats and dogs, that's all you need to know, as we have 5 lights for the sprint. Lights out and away we go for the sprint in Spa. We're the only ones on the wet tyres and we get a great start. Lando Norris gets it all crossed up and we get it crossed up. Massive aquaplane and skill issue into La Source. Somehow we don't get damaged. I checked my pit stop information rather comically, but down towards Eau Rouge and Radion we go for the first time there. I have no idea what happened. I don't think I broke particularly harshly. Just had no feel of the car. The rear end snapped like nobody's business. No damage, thankfully, on our wagon as we now disperse the spray and head our way to the Les Combes chicane. And do you know what? Actually, while I'm here, I'll nitpick about Belgium because why have Codemasters not updated this track? It looks absolutely shocking. Do your job. Into the right-hander we go then, slaloming our way round this, quite frankly, slippery Spa-Francorchamps track. Into the left-hander, I think it's called X, although Jackie X doesn't really want it to be called X, so I have no idea. But enough about Jackie X. We're in a sticky situation here because our wet tyres, we're the barometer, essentially, in terms of justifying whether the track is indeed wet enough for us to charge forwards. We are, for the now, gaining on Charles Leclerc, thinking about a move, diving down the inside of Charles Leclerc. Yes, we do. P5 for us now. Into La Source we go, taking no prisoners on our wet tyres. They seem to be working pretty damn well. And as the rain gets heavier and heavier, Lewis Hamilton is next up. And I smell an extreme amount of blood in the water. We're surely gonna sail our way through. We haven't sailed our way through. In fact, the news is extremely grim. Apparently, despite the fact it is a Category 74 hurricane, the wet tyres aren't doing better than the intermediates, and we're actually burning up our rear tyres. Look at that, 12%, now 14 as we head through the left-hander. And this is the problem we have. Not only do we have understeer somehow, despite the track being wet enough to field a kayak exhibition, through Pouon we go, and I'm about to really feel a bit shat, because as we get it all crossed up, here comes Leclerc out of nowhere, for some reason, with momentum by the bucketful. There he goes towards Denmark, and we keep our position for the moment, but look how much we're struggling on the wet tyres. We've lost so many temps to the cars ahead of us, and I genuinely don't know how. I'm actually absolutely baffled. There is no way we should be losing that amount of time to cars behind us on the exit. And Leclerc is constantly hounding us. I feel like I've been here before. I feel like oh, what's it called? Oh yeah, the AI are cheating nonsense. Just like the British Grand Prix, we're on the same tyres as them for that race. Here we are on a track that is more worthy for an Olympic swimming race. And Charles Leclerc is still getting better traction than us on tyres that should not be dispersing the water this well. Look how hard it is raining. You can't tell me that that isn't torrential, as he's again trying to find any avenue to get past us on the penultimate lap of this sprint. This really is a sprint race. 5 laps. You know what? Every sprint race should be this long, even in real life, so I don't have to gouge my eyes out. On to the last lap of the Grand Prix then, and it's grim news. It really is. Instead of sailing our way through, we're frantically paddling underwater like a swan, except we're not nearly as graceful, unfortunately. You can see on the understeer we are contracting on every single corner. I'm contracting diseases watching this driving, and watching Leclerc and Perez now absolutely all over me. Again out of that right-hander. The AI are so strong for no reason. I have no idea why. Maybe I'm just taking it badly. I'll happily accept responsibility if I am, but I don't think I was taking it particularly slowly. So into the bus stop, Leclerc to the outside, his final chance. We brake as we normally do, get a massive slide, massive slide. Leclerc takes us round, and somehow we don't get a penalty. And somehow we're P5. After all of that, and that was a very, very ugly bus stop chicane. No, I don't. No, you know what? I don't deserve an achievement for that. It did actually feel like I was driving on oil, though. That's convenient. For some reason, that's the first time I've got points in the wet. I beg to differ. I did that at Miami and Imola as well. So take your Xbox achievement and shove it where the sun don't shine. The good news is we are further up than where we were before in qualifying. We're P5 for the race, and we can only move forwards from there. The bad news is the AI are cheating cretins in the wet, and, more unfortunately, in the race, it's set to go to wet conditions towards the end. But we've been in this position before. We did it in Miami and Imola. So let's do it again, shall we?
It's the Belgian Grand Prix, the site of the maiden victory of the Jordan team in 1998. The venue that Michael Schumacher made his debut in Formula One. There is so much history here amongst the beautiful nature. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position. A very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Grim Reaper, Perez, Leclerc, Norris, Ocon, Bottas, Tsunoda, Zhou, Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Magnussen, Gasly, Albon, Hulkenberg, De Vries, Sargent and Jack Doohan. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. It's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. Joined once again by former Formula One driver Anthony Davidson. And they've had a lot of on-track incidents recently that could leave them low on confidence.
It's not an ideal situation by any means. When you get into a bad run like that, there's always a risk of frustration creeping in, which can cause more mistakes and locks you into this vicious cycle. Hopefully today they can get through turn one cleanly and stay calm for the rest of the race.
I smell the scent of redemption today. 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go for the Belgian Grand Prix, and Hamilton on the hard tyres. Of course he's going to sink like a brick. Down the inside we go at La Source. He's got a car to his outside as well, but we get round both of them. It's Perez on the softs that managed to usurp the 7-time champion. The man who won the British Grand Prix has the sinking feeling in 6th place as we head up towards the Kemmel Straight for the first time. No, we're not. Perez is actually piking our slipstream. He's absolutely flying there. What a piece of momentum for the Mexican driver. But we're always going to squeeze him out, have the inside line. Russell and Verstappen getting crossed up. We go down the inside of Russell. Neat opportunistic move. Both Mercedes opting for the hard tyres, and it's cost them big time. It's Carlos Sainz that takes the lead of the race. Verstappen in P2, and now us on the medium tyres hold down 3rd place. The final podium position already ours in 15 laps of this Belgian Grand Prix. It's another 35% race today as Sainz sets about eating up the miles in that Ferrari car. It looks so competitive at Hungary in the hands of Charles Leclerc, but the slimy Sainz smooth operator is going to have something to say about that today. As we look at a replay of the start, 5 red lights, and at the front you can see the difference between the hards and the softs as Sainz goes straight round the outside. You can see it just there, and on the exit, bites into the bitumen so much better, and into the lead he goes. The smoothest of operations from the prancing horse as he gallops and leaps his way up into the big time. And it could be a first win for Ferrari, I think, this season, to be honest with you. They haven't had the rub of the green whatsoever, which is convenient because, well, they're red. Here's a green man, though. His name's Alonso, and his motto is go, go, go. Down the inside of Yuki Tsunoda, trying to get up to 11th. Oh, no! No, Alonso makes contact with that man. Yuki Tsunoda, he wins the battle, but the price is heavy to pay. Here's how things stand for us, though, as we head on towards lap number 3. And we are firstly out of DRS range of Perez when it gets enabled for next lap. That's wonderful news. And even more wonderful news is we are right on the cusp of Max Verstappen's diffuser. This could get very tasty, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, the gap between myself and Max is only 3 points. Sainz sets the fastest lap of the race, but we're going to look to immerse ourselves and really put ourselves in a prime position for potential victory in this race, should things go our way. A bit of battery usage out of La Source then, and now we have the benefit of the slipstream as we toboggan up through the roller coaster of Eau Rouge and Radion, and now DRS is enabled. Now we plant the battery down. The speed Verstappen has in a straight line is immense, but we have DRS. We max out straight line speed, but we are through at the Les Combes chicane. P2 against the challenge. Why can't I speak today? Well, anyway, we overtake Sharon, I guess. Up into P2 though, and now we can really rock it along. Carlos Sainz next up with a purple Sector 1 to our name. And suddenly the mediums could be coming into their own in this race. The gap remains the same at the end of lap number 3 onto 4. And out through La Source, you're about to see what kind of exit we get. Yes, the gap's 1.7 for the moment, but with a bit of battery usage, we gain a 10th. Just like that, and through Eau Rouge. Max he has DRS. Right, this could be a problem then. We have to look behind us instead of in front of us for the time being. Verstappen on those soft tyres, still managing to find some purchase out of them. He's the championship leader for a reason, but can't get nearly close enough to usurping us. P2 remains in our custody. Sharon, get out of my house. But we are hungry for so much more than P2. We did not come here to be second best, as out of the bus stop chicane we go. We gain a 10th and a half to Sainz on this lap. And now things can start to get very spicy indeed. Through La Source this time, and we gain a 10th just in the apex. Make that 2 tenths? Where's that come from? Oh my goodness me, the mediums now finally firing up into their own as we head up towards the Kemmel Straight. No DRS, of course, because we're not in DRS range. Well, I'll tell you who else isn't. Max Verstappen. Now he's got his teammate for company. That's great news for us as we head into the Les Combes chicane. Use as much of the curbs as you dare, and this one you can afford to just cut it as much as you need to. The gap to Sainz now teetering on the edge of DRS. And now Sainz is starting to get a bit nervous. The Chile is now finding himself hot under the collar. That's exactly what we want. 8 tenths the gap.
And you know what that means.
Lap number 6 now, and come the Kemmel Straight, I'm sure we'll have DRS. We're within 8 tenths of Carlos Sainz, even without an ideal exit. Those soft tyres are finding themselves in extreme difficulty. A big requirement for resuscitation on their front. The mediums are just springing into action, and DRS for the first time is ours for the taking. We're watching the weather report. Like I said before, the rain will be on its way, and we're keeping an eye on it.
Ignore.
As we head through the right-hander, and we are well within striking distance now, surely. Another lap to come, and we will be the same distance away. That 7th, 10th gap. And now through the bus stop, as long as we pile the pressure onto the brake pedal and then flick the car in, hope it complies, which it does. Now we are truly cooking as we head into La Source. Sainz has held the lead for almost half of this race, ever since taking it at the first corner against a Mercedes of Russell, who finds himself in 5th. Hamilton's down in 10th. He might well be pitting, actually, that's why. But he was actually briefly 9th behind Ocon. But through La Source, the gap now only 4 tenths of a second. And you surely could believe it. It's inevitable. You can feel it in your fingers, in your toes, as we max out on the straight. Sainz defends the inside. We sweep round the outside. That's it. Victory is ours. Well, in that battle anyway, I'm not going to say it's guaranteed because the rain period is still to come. But oh my goodness me. The lead of the race is ours. Balls of steel as we swept round the smoothest operator around. One could say that was a smooth operation for certain. And the rain has indeed just begun. In the nick of time. But now we have a crucial decision to make. I mean, it's our pit window very soon. So, do we stay out?
Or do we not?
Lap number 8 now, and you thought it was set in stone. Oh, wait, forget it. The AI are cheating cockwombles because Sainz is now within 3 tenths of us on a track that is only getting worse. I have no idea how on earth he's managed to pull a second out on us on this lap, and that momentum was ridiculous. I was taking the racing line anyway, but he just was weaving this way and that way to try and find any move possible. But I don't know how he's finding this upturn in performance despite the conditions getting worse. Because inherently, these tyres will not have the same grip as now he comes in. Sainz in, Perez in, and surely everyone else that is yet to pit. Our pit window opens on this lap, should we choose to try and go for it. But we're going to try, I think, and muster it out as Hamilton comes out of the pits. And there's my teammate. Okay, Jack Doohan, let's see what you've got then. Hamilton on fresh mediums, but Doohan on the soft tyres. And this is why we signed him. He's feisty. He's hungry for more. He's got absolute tons of bravery and confidence as he heads to the inside. Go, Jack Doohan. This is your moment. Fuck! I think my teammate's brain was actually put on upside down, which is just quite funnily ironic because he's Australian. Here we are, though, our point of view. We haven't come into the pits. We're heading on to lap number 10 now, still leading this Grand Prix. Sainz, though, has caught up 2 seconds to us on this lap, on the fresh mediums. And yes, I know they're fresh mediums, but it's not like this track isn't getting worse. They should be struggling just as much as I am, if we're being honest here. Lap number 11 of this race now, and it's another 2 seconds Sainz has put on us as we get all squirrely into La Source once again. Same problem as we had on the previous lap, and the track is, again, like I say, getting worse and worse and worse. It says the rain's staying with us for a long, long time. Yeah, it's getting a little bit greasy, but somehow it's not getting greasy enough. End of lap number 11. It's still practically the same as it was. And okay, look, I'll admit happily when I'm wrong, but I genuinely completely bollocks this weekend up in all the wrong ways. I mean, I should have just gone on to that. Was a nice slide, though. Hello. I put that on the wall of the Tate Modern or something. Actually, the Tate Modern wouldn't accept that because it's actual art. Anyway, moving on to lap number 13 now, and Sergio Perez is casserolling. Our race, well, our pot's cooled down and has now been shed into the freezer. Perez, though, with DRS wide open, is not hanging around. He's actually passing his teammate here down the Kemmel Straight. Perez into P3 now in this race. Provisionally P2 because we've screwed the pooch. And now I have a restraining order. Perez certainly isn't doing the dirty with any dogs. And on to the end of lap 13. I mean, well, the track's hardly even greasy, but I have to do the intermediates now. This is the last possible lap. I can come in. Well, actually, no, I could do the lap after as well. But even so, I'd lose even more time. I think this is probably just about right to get the intermediates on. So into the pits we go. And, well, there goes Sainz already as one of the KarlsCars is out. Can we get purple? Yes, we do. Thanks, Ronaldo. I'm now deaf. But tyres on. Wow, intermediates. I actually want to jump off a bridge. I hate my life. Belgium really hasn't been kind to us at all this weekend. Neither has the wet conditions. As somehow, the FIA are visually impaired, because how that wasn't a white line cross, I will never know. As we head through Eau Rouge, I mean, this is the litmus test now. We need to assess whether these tyres can actually do this. The gap to Ocon behind, that's what I'm watching. 1.1 seconds for the time being. It's not like we're a rocket ship in a straight line. It's the Lecombe chicane, though, where things will become clear. Through the right and through the left, we do gain time. Okay, we do actually gain time. Okay, it's not all set in stone then. And we are catching Russell ahead. So there is a chance for us to get more points in this race. If the track deteriorates very rapidly from now, there is every single opportunity that we can get maybe a 6th position, maybe 5th. Hell, maybe a podium position isn't out of the question. Let's get this bread. Let's absolutely munch. Last lap and I just... What an absolute crap fest from start to finish. What a mess. What an absolute mess of a weekend. Even though we are now almost within a second of George Russell, it's too little too late. That is it. The one time I needed it to be a 50% race in the wet, I haven't got that luxury. And that's it. We've run out of time. And on the intermediate tyres, finally the track looks like it could be somewhat wet enough. But we have not at all prepared for the weather ahead. We haven't weathered the storm at all. One man who has is Carlos Sainz. He wins the Belgian Grand Prix. And so, we have to ask ourselves what could have been. Because out of the last corner, it's P7 at the Belgian Grand Prix. And I've got really nothing to shout about at all. I mean, stop the music right now. That's going to annoy me. I genuinely can't believe how much of a mess this weekend has been. Qualifying wasn't ideal. The sprint was quite bad. The race was something else.
That's a fantastic performance from Ferrari. Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
Well, at least it's not a Red Bull. The prancing horse does indeed take the victory. Sainz, never do that again as long as you live. The Tifosi do have something to write home about this weekend, though. They only got 2 points last weekend. Unreliability cost them big time. Today, they had no such problems. They absolutely rinsed the rest of the field. Once Sainz took the lead, he never looked back, other than when we overtook him. But, you know, Doesn't really matter now, does it? Here's the state of play, though. In the end, we get 7th in the total points scored for this weekend. Against the likes of Leclerc and the Mercedes, it's not too bad. Both the Red Bulls, though, scoring 21 points. They gain on me big time, which is horrible. We lose ground in the championship fight. Sainz, though, with the masterclass weekend. P2 in the sprint, fastest lap in the race, and the race win to boot. Oh, for God's sake, it wasn't a Haas, it was my teammate. Oh my God, as if it couldn't get any worse for Ribena Racing this weekend. My teammate's internal combustion engine becomes an internally combusting engine. Anyways, though, I mean, I don't really know what to say. It was just it was a car crash, really. It was, this race. I in hindsight, I mean, hindsight's a really unhelpful friend. It's not actually my friend. I think I might actually kill it. But, you know, at the end of the day, I should have put on the softs. And I probably would have won this race. Or maybe not, because the AI don't obey physics. In the championship, though, we do blissfully hold on to 2nd. We lose 11 points, of course. Only 14 points, though, still. So, a race victory or a result that goes our way in the next race, we turn things around completely. Perez right on our tail, though, nipping at our heels. 4 points between us. Hamilton in 4th place, but with Sainz rocketing up the field, up to P5 now, and putting a lot of pressure on the 7-time champion. Lando Norris up to P9 in the standings. Ocon takes 10th off Magnussen in the standings after getting some much-needed points in 8th place for Alpine. Otherwise, looking down the order, of course my teammate hasn't scored any points. None of my teammates have. It's still De Vries and Sargent yet to do so, though. Constructors, if you ignore Red Bull, which gives you depression, Ferrari and Mercedes, there's only 1 point between them. So that is spicy. For us, I mean, just ignore us. We've lost so much ground because my team are so not the greatest weekend, but as the optimism overlord, Leclerc still didn't want it. And we won the rivalry! Bitch. Leclerc will disappear into the shadow of shame as we get our acclaim. We actually rocket up to somehow halfway through level 10. Jack goes back down to level 6, which is justified because he actually can't drive. But Team Acclaim's still at level 13. Both our sponsors are very happy, though. Somehow we got a top 4 finish in the race, despite not getting one. Do you know what? We'll gloss over that, because at the end of the day, I love my sponsors, and I thank them for all the support they've given me, and all the fans. Oh, for God's sake. It's not my fault that they can't bench. Get stronger. Eat a steak. So things off the track are just as shambolic as on the track, as apparently someone's injured themselves in the gym. Like I say, not my problem. They should learn how to pull up better. Into the personnel, though, and I think with 2.5 million, it's about time we actually upgraded our driver. We upgraded the pit equipment before, but let's give them some pace and other statistic boosts, and we can find... Let's go straight to the season break, then. And that's the end of the season break. Francisco, shut up. I will scalp you. You are useless, my friend. Unbelievable. Oh, for God's sake. What? Oh. Oh. Okay, then. The big dogs, Red Bull. I've decided to go with Sergio Perez. He's behind us in the championship. If he thinks he can handle the smoke, then bring it on. Belgium Grand Prix down, then, and let's forget about it. Let's emblazon it out of our heads. Next up is the Dutch Grand Prix, and I'm feeling much, much better about the Dutch Grand Prix, so hopefully we can redeem ourselves there. If you did enjoy this episode of Depression, then please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I would appreciate that to offset the pain. Until next time, though, I once again thank you for watching. Hopefully it's much better, and until next time, I will see you soon.